Hello there, here's a video on how I made the juggling NPCs, and this is just a little experiment I'm working on right now, and it's really too weird to explain. So I will go into the dungeon and show you how to simply make custom NPCs, juggling NPCs. So just hang on here. Okay, it's right down this hall here, and in this room we have these original guys who love to juggle. So how does this done? In this guy, oops, that's my player script. In this guy right here, we have them set to can pick up loot. Now most things in custom NPCs like villagers and things like that probably could have a can pick up loot tag, and that will give them the ability to pick up loot if it's set to 1, which is true. So using the NBT scripting interface here, we set that up in the initialization function, and then in the tick function it looks for something in the right hand. So once it picks up something, it also puts that in its left hand, and its right hand is changed to null, then it drops it in its left hand. Now you don't really notice that. And so it drops it, yet it still has it in its left hand even though it drops that item. Then a timer goes off. It swings its hand because it looks cool, and then what makes it juggle is this command right here, the entity data. It checks for an item, then gives it the motion, and this would be in the negative Z direction, negative 0.45, and then it has a motion in the Y direction of 0.7, 0 in the X. So that's what throws the ball, or the wool ball, and this guy has a positive 0.45. And he also sets the item to glowing. It's just something I did to make it look cool. But so that's how it's done. And so if you watch closely, he actually still has it in his left hand. It's hard to see, but he drops it, and so that's what makes it juggle. Now then, to make it a little more complex, you can change the X and the Y, or the X and, well, X and the Z to change, to throw it at angles, and it seems to follow the basic parabolic principles of dynamics here. These guys here. Now then, this is a fairly perfect equilateral triangle, so that these guys are at. So the angles between them is 60 degrees. So she is throwing it 30 degrees off to the side. So what you do is, she also does some dialogue things in here, but what you do, so you change 30, what you have to do is change 30 degrees to radians, because JavaScript uses radians, and then you find the cosine and sine of it, and that's how much of the angle is in, or yeah, how much is, what percentage kind of is in which direction. And then I'm using this 0.71 is the kind of the strength I'm throwing it at. So I take the percentage of X and Y and Z, and this is negative Z, so, and then I just put it in the entity data command once again, and they throw it. I also am throwing it in the Y at 1.3. So all of these are pretty much identical also. So they follow the freeze up a little bit there. They all basically follow the law of physics. See, now this one also is 30, and he's throwing a negative X and negative Z, but the strength factor is still the same. And then this guy is actually just throwing it in the I believe that's negative or positive Z. So if we look down here, yeah, positive Z. So that's how that's done. And they have the same pickup thing, and so if you drop something near them, if that chicken would lay an egg near him, he would throw the egg. So that's how it's done. It's fairly simple, and it follows the laws of physics, and it's pretty cool. You can it's hard to see on this video. I know they kind of fade out there, but that's how it's done. Just the entity data, and you could give these items a name, because it is going to juggle any item, like I said, an egg or anything that is within a radius of 2 of these NPCs. So if you could specify a name in that entity data tag, I believe, and it would only juggle that item. You have to look at the command reference for that, but that's how it's done. Thanks for watching. I'll leave this basic script in the description, so see ya.